So what are some actual likely causes? Well, let's start with position, or specifically the stability part of your functional elements. A weak grip, particularly if you address the myth of a need to put the tip of your index finger on the trigger, can lead to a poor position. Varying the rifle butt position in your shoulder or having slack and allowing it to slip under recoil can cause vertical stringing. Not using enough head pressure, a poor cheek to stock weld. If you change the distance of your eye from the rear sight or your ocular lens, this can cause an issue. Particularly with stoner-based platforms, that is the M16, M4 series, any pressure you put on the handguard puts direct pressure on the barrel, unless, of course, if you have a float tube, which most issue weapons do not. This is a big enough issue in itself that I have a completely separate video addressing that alone. Let's move on to aiming. Having an inconsistent head placement, particularly due to poor cheek stock weld, can be an issue. That can cause an inconsistent aim and or changing your reference of your eye in relation to your sight, whether it's rear sight or the optic itself. That can have an effect on sight alignment. Inconsistent placement that causes inconsistent aim can cause sight alignment issues. This can easily go in any direction, certainly can be vertical. Of note with optics, even if the reticle appears centered, if there's what we commonly know as scope shadow, you can be inducing sight alignment even if the reticle is on target, simply because you're not centering your eye through the sight like you need to, and that can be exacerbated by just having poor position. Also consider our old zero target. It's a silhouette. It's much taller than it is wide. When using iron sights, the target is going to appear about the same width as your front sight, which means it'll be pretty easy to detect any error left and right. But vertical error up and down, well, if you're focused on your sight like you're supposed to, it might not be as apparent if you're a little high or low because the target's going to be out of focus. And if you're looking at the target like you're not supposed to, well, that can induce vertical error on its own. And let's not forget the single biggest problem, flinching or pre-ignition push or shot anticipation. Shooters pushing into their firearm in anticipation of the shot going off, thus redirecting alignment unintentionally. How funny is it that one of the single biggest problems with shooter error is something that isn't even addressed, but something like breathing gets talked about all the time.